Hey, have you heard or seen these characters before? You may think not, but look again. This is Lucky Star, an anime that you now probably recognize from media around you, but why have you never seen it? Why do you not remember it? How did such a popular anime fall into such obscurity? Today, we aim to answer that question. This is the story of Lucky Star, the anime that no one remembers. Not much is known about its creation, but a certain Kagami Yoshimizu, who was known for pretty much nothing at the time, decided to pitch a manga where 4 girls go to high school and live average lives which anyone could relate to. And so Lucky Star was born, as a manga strip in the Japanese magazine Comptique in 2004, and had cameo appearances in other magazines like Shonen Ace. In 2005, a drama CD, essentially a type of audiobook with voice actors playing the characters, was released that summer. It proved so successful that a Nintendo DS game is released that same year called Lucky Star Moe Drill. It's just a basic math game, even getting a sequel a year later. The series was a hit, and the studio Kyoto Animation, well known for Full Metal Panic, K-On!, and the Haruhi series, decided to turn that manga about 4 girls living life into a full anime. First up, Konata is a hard otaku obsessed with anime, manga, and video games.
こう見えても友達は100人近くいるし、社交性取引とかのスキルは結構高いし。
With a mischievous, sarcastic, yet good at heart personality, keeping the group together while still being prankish and nerdy. Up next, we have Kagami, a stereotypical tsundere with an ego.
鏡さんってイメージ通りのお方ですのに。恐ろしい子だからそれはやめろって。
Kagami is always trying to be the straight man of the group, and though she deeply cares for her friends, she doesn't show this, or at least, she tries not to. Moving forward, Tsukasa, the most innocent and kind one of the group, and Kagami's twin sister. The homemaker between her and Kagami, though she always needs help with studying and texting, much to Kagami's rage. And finally, Miyuki, the smartest and best at heart, though also the most forgetful and most klutzy. Despite her expertise at academics, she rarely helps around the house and lacks practical skills. Now you may be asking, what's the anime like? Well, the anime plays out like most American sitcoms with a distinct Japanese twist. Episodes would start with a quick sketch that would kick off the episode. After the title card, the characters would go through a paper-thin storyline that usually involved the time of year or an important date, like a birthday or a school break. The plot would mainly focus on very grounded subjects, like forgetting a phone and dealing with it, or going to a convention with a friend. At the end of each episode, it would conclude with a segment labeled Lucky Channel, hosted by Akira Kogami and Minoru Shiraishi, talking about the characters and reading fan letters. These would usually go awry and leading to Akira's famous mood swings. After the segment ends, the credits play as the main cast sing karaoke of music from pop songs to anime. Unlike most shows of the era, it didn't follow a similar one-perspective fashion as some other shows, but instead followed multiple characters and their perspectives to add depth to the show's plot, despite the fact that, well...
やると思った。絶対やると思った。
there wasn't really much plot to begin with. However, after the first episodes hit airwaves, the newest sensation of global communication had to hold its vote. It was... Now, I don't need to tell you how successful Lucky Star was, so I'm going to show you instead. Let's pop in a tape, and let's just see how it is. Come on. There we go. Alright, take it away. So you can tell it was a pretty big success. However, with any successful franchise, there's bound to be mountains upon mountains of merchandise. And with a series like Lucky Star, there was no exception. So, a bit of a disclaimer. So, most of these products are from Japan, which is, well, that's kind of how things work around here. So, I'm just going to put them up here on screen so you can see them. Well, that was certainly a collection of text. Now, there is actually one piece of text that I forgot to put in there, or did I? And it's the video games. So originally, this segment was much longer, like 20 minutes. So instead of that, I shortened it. The audio you'll be hearing for some of it is from a 40-minute interview I did with Timepiece Master, which I shortened to 20 minutes and have posted as an unlisted video in the description. Anyway, since these games are full of content, we'll kind of summarize them. If you want to learn more, either listen to the interview or watch some of Timepiece Master's content. Now enough banter. Moving forward with our first game on the list, this game looks like a math game, but is also secretly a multi-character visual novel with multiple modes, like a story mode, which is math battles, but also have some visual novel stuff thrown into it, Hitsuru mode, which is just math battles, nothing more, and the gallery, which has mini-games like Spot the Difference and item viewers. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but trust me, there are quite a few. Now as to its sequel, it's more of the same, but has a lot better things inside of it. More quality of life updates, such as a calculator type control panel, faster battles, a lot more battles, in terms of the fact that there's stuff like Tsundere Judgment. There's also stuff like better story elements. There's traditional RPG choices, choosing one or the other, because in the first game, that wasn't a thing you could do. And another thing that they like to do is they like to add references to older media or the media of the time to make good referential humor with the viewer. And sometimes it's a bit blatant. Now, the PS2 game, it's quite different. It's actually just a visual novel without any math. It loves to poke fun at other anime and games, just like the other ones. Example, you have one of the chapters which is based off Fate Stay Night, and they do a play on Fate Stay Night, which is quite interesting to actually look at. And they like to also parody a bunch of other stuff. Your protagonist is actually not a cookie cutter that's just meant to be a self-insert and has quite a bit of depth and has quite a few opinions regarding vending machines of all things. But hold on, there's more. Just wait here. There's another game inside of this game. In the PS2 release, because there was also a PSP release, they included an extra game. It was called Lucky Fighter, which is like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat had its weird twisted son that it kind of works, but isn't the greatest. It's mainly a joke, if anything, as there are only 3 playable characters, 2 of them being from the start, being Akira Kogami and Konata. You travel through and beat up a bunch of enemies, kind of like the Subspace Emissary from Smash Brawl. But as you defeat them, you then get to Minoru as the final boss, and he's done in a Mortal Kombat way, where they just, slap some images of Minoru, put it together, and made it. Now, there was another one that came out after this for the PSP exclusively, Net Idolmeister. Net Idolmeister was for PSP, and essentially the story is very simple. Comics and Gamers, or at least I think one of them is called Comics. Do not remember. I know Gamers is one of the stores. They're both stores in Akihabara, which is the anime capital of Japan, and they want idols. So the Lucky Star cast decides to become idols. It's more or less a what-if scenario. It's not really a, this is what happened, more so this is what might happen if this ever happens. Now, Timepiece, you said you had something to show us.
So there's some games that were made to tie in with the anime DVDs in Japan, right? So in Japan, there was a set of DVDs released for Lucky Star where you had like 2 episodes on a DVD, right? Like very minimal, like you had to buy like 12 different DVDs if you wanted to see all of Lucky Star in Japan. But as little bonuses, they put these, what I basically like to call glorified screensaver game on there, and they're called Lucky Star no Mori, right? So Lucky Star no Mori, if you're familiar with Dobutsu no Mori, which is the Japanese name for Animal Crossing, they're trying to be life simulation games, but not really, where you play as Konata, and she just kind of goes about her day and walks around and just watches TV, goes to school, talks to her friends, and hangs out with them and things like that. And so you had these 12 different Lucky Star no Mori games based on the anime. In each DVD, you would have different Lucky Star no Mori game. These were computer games that would like come with like on a separate CD, probably. Not entirely sure about the details on that one. But they're like these life simulation games. I say life simulation really like kind of in quotes, and I call it glorified screensaver more because Konata just kind of walks around on her own. You don't have a whole lot of control over the game, and you just have to wait around for hours to just see all the different things that can happen. But they are kind of tied in. There's like 12 of them, and different things happen in each one. And they somewhat tie into the anime. Like if you have the DVD for the episodes where they go to the beach, Konata can go to the beach with her friends and do that whole beach trip that they have in the anime. And you can just kind of watch it play out in the game, and they do a lot of the same things. But yeah, there's like these 12 games where you just like watch stuff happen. Not the most exciting, but they're there. Interestingly enough, they were lost media for the longest time. But this one user, their channel is called Fiori Tamara. They used to go by Tamara Nabe and Soul Crystal and other names like that.
Hey everyone, it's me, Lifte, just editing the video. I looked up what he was talking about, what Timepiece was just talking about, so they still go by Soul Crystal on, or Soul Cristo on YouTube, and they have another name on Reddit, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, but I'll have on the screen. So just thought y'all should know that if you ever really want to know. Alright, let's get back to that.
They managed to find on some shady Russian forum or something the download link for all the games, and so it was like in 2021, I believe, that they managed to uncover these games. For a while they were lost media, because although people in the community did have the DVDs and such, people weren't really willing to put the games online, so, or anywhere, right? It was like really hard to get your hands on these like games. So in Lucky Star no Mori, one of the things that you can do sometimes is go to like the game center with Konata, I think, if I remember correctly, and you can, or just other scenarios like that. Certain things will bring up mini games. And these are kind of Game & Watch style mini games where usually you play as Minoru, or it's like Lucky Channel themed in some way. But they're usually based off of the Game & Watch games with like some Lucky Channel theming. And you'll unlock exclusive segment of Lucky Channel where they just like have some banter between Akira and Minoru. I believe all those segments are on YouTube. They're audio only, and nobody's translated them yet, but they are there. Yeah, it's really more of a screensaver type game. You just watch stuff happen. I've tried to play that game for a couple hours to try to unlock stuff. You'll be waiting forever because Konata walks at a snail's pace and does whatever she wants. Largely, it takes like a whole 5 minutes for her to go. Maybe not to exaggeration, but she walks all the way to school. She like goes to the bus stop. The bus shows up. You watch the bus slowly move over to the school. She walks into the school. She walks into class. Like, everything is like snail's pacing. Nothing gets skipped. You can't skip through anything, and everything is real slow.
Well, with that done, we delve deeper into Lucky Star's descent. In September of 2007, the final episode of Lucky Star hit airwaves. Shortly after, probably to compensate for the anime's finale, an OVA, or original video animation, was released in 2008. For all of you who don't know what it is, an OVA is essentially multiple episodes or parts put together to form a movie of sorts. But in Lucky Star's case, this pretty much means we got some new episodes to watch. Unfortunately, it was Japan only, meaning for the United States, the series that many grew to love had just disappeared without a trace. After the anime ended, the manga kept going until 2012 in America and 2014 in Japan. The same year, a side series was released, The Mirakawa Family Hunger. Many expected a continuation of the same kind of structure as Lucky Star, but when it wasn't, some responded less positively than Lucky Paradise, its parent company, may have expected.
Ready, go!
If you want to know more about that, check out Anime USA's video, which I'll have here in the description, so you can watch it after you finish this one. Now, the series slowly faded away, with having few CD releases and only around one live performance done of the iconic opening, Moteke Sailor Fuku, ever being done. The anime was barely known by many as Lucky Star, they just knew it as some meme that they saw way back when, until a glimmer of hope shined on the series with a huge announcement. In May of 2019, Funimation, which used to be able to stream Lucky Star online, released a Blu-ray collector's edition, showing exclusive clips, also having upscaled episodes, now to HD. Currently, as of writing this video, there are over 8,000 people in the Lucky Star subreddit, which is a wonderful thing, as when I started writing, there were only around 1,500. But I also want to say this, go watch the show. Go and buy the DVD or use the ripped episodes on Nico Video on YouTube. Go and watch it. By doing that, you are helping preserving this amazing work that could be forgotten yet again. I also just want to say that on top of it, there's amazing fan work. Fan artists have some amazing talent when it comes to the Lucky Star community, as well as animators. Designers, people on Etsy, Redbubble, and even just fan creators for fan edits or videos like it. I'll show a few on screen because they're just really freaking good pieces of video editing. And hell, some of the stuff with AI people have already done. They've already made Konata as an AI and be able to do that, so I just want to say, first of all, go and interact with the community. They're some of the best people I've ever met. They're not that toxic, the people I've met, and the people that were got swept under the rug or kicked. And it feels almost rewarding to find a community that's nice. An anime community that doesn't care, a lot of the time at least, what your thoughts are on something. If you kinda like it versus you're obsessed with it, doesn't matter. They'll still accept you for who you are. And I think that's something that everybody should do, even then. Now, there is actually a new announcement that came out. In December of 2022, a magazine released which stated that there could be a new Lucky Star spin-off manga called Konata 31, which follows Konata, years after the show's ended. And I think that if that comes out, if y'all are in Japan when it releases, I'd say go and buy it. So that way we can say to Kagami Yoshimizu, yes, we want more of this. And if you aren't in Japan, there's an online store page that I'll link that has a small amount of Lucky Star merch, like pins and file folders and stuff like that. And you can buy it anywhere in the world, and it's not much, but still, it's a contribution to them. Now, I also want to thank someone else here, and that's you. I want to thank you for watching this video, for listening to me ramble, as well as Timepiece Master as well. And I want to thank everyone else that's been here helping me with this video. And I hope that everyone here has a good day. And I hope that they all enjoy a nice, pleasant afternoon, evening, morning, midnight, I don't know. But I hope you enjoy it. Now, if you excuse me, I have a chocolate cornet to finish.
お次は司とみゆきさんのデュエットです。みゆきちゃん、前出て歌おうよ。こなたが司とみゆきの歌う曲選んであげるなんて不思議ね。私もちゃんといろんな曲知ってるんだって。やっぱりアニソンか。意外とこういう時にはアニソンが役に立つのだよ。